the prosecution of sexual assault is just rampant in the military because the military either had a real or perceived issue that sexual assaults were occurring at very high levels in the military. So with Congress and the military senior leadership, they've cast this incredibly broad net out there. So anyone who's been accused of sexual assault or an allegation's been made against them, the reality is 9 out of 10 cases, and that number may be even higher than that, end up going to court-martial in cases that you would never see the U.S. Attorney's Office or the state prosecutor's office taking. So if you're just under investigation, you're in real trouble. In just the last case that we tried, literally a week and a half ago out in Hawaii, we had a not guilty verdict. We had a service member who was accused of sexual assault by his ex-wife. He was a sergeant, and he was out in Okinawa, Japan, and he found that his wife was cheating on him with a tech sergeant. And he confronted the tech sergeant, and the tech sergeant was just bold and just a real blue falcon, if you know what I'm talking about, in terms of if you've been in the military and are watching this, and said, no, I'm still going to sleep with your wife. And he continued to have a relationship with his wife, violating no contact orders, violating orders from his first shirt. He was in the Air Force. And that went on for months and months and months. And our client was just trying to find her whereabouts and trying to really make that stop in terms of her adulterous relationship. Finally, when she decided that she was going to divorce our client and go out and marry this tech sergeant 2 weeks later, literally she was married to him about a couple weeks later, and she wanted her now ex out of her life, she made an allegation of sexual assault against him. I mean, just like classic. I'm going to make an allegation against my, now ex-husband because I was cheating on him with a tech sergeant and I want him out of my life. So she made allegations of him for stalking, domestic violence, sexual assault. It was this long laundry list where if you read it, you're like, wow, this is a really bad guy. And a lot of his command thought that, but we took on the case and we worked with Trial Defense Services out in Hawaii because the case was moved to Hawaii. And a case was almost 2 years in the making, took 5 days of trial, and after a 4-hour verdict, after we put the alleged victim through the chipper shredder of cross-examination, really exposed her to be a charlatan and a liar, as well as her now tech sergeant husband, a jury came back, or a military panel came back and acquitted of all charges and specifications. So that was a case, that was really the last trial that we did, where initially everyone thought this client was guilty. And when you peel the onion back and really put your effort into it, you realize it was just absolutely a false accusation, but we need to take this to trial and put these government witnesses through the crucible of cross-examination in order to prove our client's innocence.